credit does Quick get for making the stops with those power play opportunities in the third?
Yeah, he was good. He made some solid some solid saves. I mean, we had a couple good looks. Wasn't as good as we thought it would, or as good as it should have been. You get a 5-on-3 at the end of the game there to try and tie the game out. I mean, you got to score to give your team a chance. So it's definitely a frustrating one.
You guys had a really good first period. You were all over. They had like 2 shots on that, and then they really started coming on in the second period. What was happening from your vantage point on your side of things?
I just felt like we couldn't get a sustained pressure on them. We'd have a good shift and then a bad shift, a good shift, bad shift. We'd score one to make it 2-0, and then we were sloppy in our D zone. They score one, and then obviously they get another one, and then we find a way to find the momentum, get another one, and we're just sloppy, and they're keep coming back at us. So we couldn't get sustained shifts together, and you give a team 5 feet, 3 feet, and they're able to make plays around you, they're going to get a good chance, and that's what happened.
Is that a result of fatigue? Is that lack of focus? Why do you think that was?
It's a good question. Could be multiple things. I don't know. I mean, it's frustrating what it is. I mean, you create momentum for yourself to play that well. I think that's kind of been the storyline of the last 4 or 5 games. We've had periods where we've played really, really well, and we've had periods where we have been absolutely horrible. So we haven't been able to put together 60 minutes yet in the last little bit here. And I mean, that goes back to Minnesota, where we started well, gave up how many in the second. Same with Dallas, and so on and so forth. So it's when you work so hard for the majority of the game to give yourself a lead or to find a way to win, and then you blow it in a short amount of time. That's all it takes in this league.
I think you've had 3 games on the last week and a half. You guys have been up 2-0 to start the game, and then it's gone the other way in the end. Do you think there's any kind of a lapse that happens? You guys kind of sit back and you can get the lead and ease off a little bit?
I think that is exactly what it is. I think we find a way we're on our toes. We're executing most than anything, but we're going at teams. We're not shying away, and we're bringing plays to them, and we're in their face. And then as soon as you get a lead, you start sitting back a bit, and like I just mentioned, you give them all it takes is 2 feet, and all of a sudden they're moving the puck by you. You give them space to make plays, and then that's when they start coming at you, and that's exactly it. You're just playing on your heels. So. We have to find a way in the locker room to figure out how to just continue to go at teams when we have a lead. I mean, understandably, at the end of the game, when you're trying to protect the lead, they have a goalie pulled, whatever, sometimes you got to sit back a little bit. But for the 57 minutes of a game, you have to keep going at teams, because as soon as you start to protect the lead and you start to feel comfortable, that's when teams start coming at you.
Jordan, a bit bigger picture, the Kings are going to the playoffs this year. You guys have played them really tough at least the last 3 games. You guys have played them capable of winning all 3, probably. Does that give you any encouragement about where things stand right now with this team, about how close you might be to turning a corner when you see a squad like that nobody really thought was going to make the playoffs this year? They're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of examples of that throughout the league. They've obviously turned it around from what happened last year. So it's always new seasons, and you're able to I think I mentioned this last time we all spoke, that the line between winning and losing is very thin. You oftentimes, it may look like you're not even close, but you find a way to push it over, you get that confidence, start rolling. That's when you start winning games. So it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as good as it seems. So you have to find a way to stay humble and commit to the little things that get you over that line to start winning hockey games, and that's what obviously they've done.